Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, students. Dear students, in the last video, we have seen meaning of political party. A political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. Today, I am going to discuss about functions of a political party. Why do we need political parties? Earlier we have seen. And now today I am going to discuss here different functions of political parties. So let's see, what does a political party do? What kind of function there of a political party in a democracy? So the very first we can extract from the definition of a political party, that is contest elections. So political parties contest elections. In most democracy, elections are fought mainly among the candidate put up by political parties. If we talk about India, we know that recently elections held of Bihar as well as some constituencies of Gujarat state as well. 8 constituencies of Gujarat state and entire state of Bihar. So where we can see that different people had taken part in elections and most of them belong to different political parties in Gujarat as well as in Bihar. So here elections are basically not contest among different people, but people those who belong to different political parties. So here in election, in democracy, in election, different political parties put their candidates. They put their candidate for contesting election, and in our local language we call it that given ticket by the political parties. A particular person got a ticket from political party, like for an example, I'm going to talk about the recent election, the nearest constituency in Gujarat, that is Karjan constituency for Legislative Assembly of Gujarat. So, what did people talk? That we generally say at that time that Mr. Akshay Patel got ticket from Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Kirit Jadeja got a ticket from Indian National Congress. The ticket was, what is the ticket? Ticket to Hollywood or to Australia or to other country? It's not like that. Ticket here to contesting election on behalf of a particular political party. That is what we call ticket. Right. So here in India, different political parties choose their candidate and they put their candidate for contesting election. That's what we call ticket from a political party. So in some countries such as USA, their system is different. Where in USA, members and supporters of political party choose their own candidate. They choose candidate from political party, means not like for their constituency, but first of all supporters of a political party as well as members of a political party choose their leader for contesting election, and afterwards people elect them. It's up to people to give a chance or not, right? Now more and more countries actually they try to follow this method. So first candidate elected by supporters and members of a political party, and afterwards that election means by the people. In countries like India, where actually this is the different system in India. In India, top leaders of a political party, they choose their candidate for contesting election. So different people chosen by the higher authorities of a political parties, leaders. Let me remind you, yesterday we have discussed about 3 components of a political party: leaders, active members, and the followers. in case of America, candidate of a political party chosen by their supporters and active members. In India, by the first component, that means by the leaders. Alright, so here contest election. Political parties contest election, which is the first function of a political party. Right? Political parties take part in election, that means they contest election. Alright, second one. Parties put forward different policies and program. Earlier, we have seen that different political parties have different views. They have different ideas, and what we call they have different ideas regarding policies and programs. And during the election campaigning, they promise to the people as well as they put before the people that such kind of policy they have, like employment, right? Agriculture, development of agriculture sector, industrial sector, rural development of rural sector. Such policies and programs they have, right? So parties put forward different policies and programs, and the voters choose from them. Why? Because each of us may have different opinions and view on what policies are suitable for the society. What I prefer, my view, that may different from yours. Like, I would like to take example of privatization and public sector. Nowadays, we know that government insists on privatization. Before, government prefer mix socialism, privatization, private sector and public sector, which we have learned before. And present government criticized by the people, activists as well as common people like me and like you. We criticize privatization of government properties. Right, so our view may differ. Possibly that a few of you may prefer private instead of the government ownership. Right, so you might differ. So it's difficult for the government to handle such kind of different view, because varieties of view, millions of views, different people, different opinion, different view, different preferences. So in a democracy, large number of similar opinions have to be grouped together to provide direction in which policies can be formulated by the government. So here government plays important role. How? So government tries to bring majority of opinion, and government actually makes decision on the basis of majority opinion that the best government can do. So this is what political parties do. A parties reduces vast multitude of opinions and views opinion of their supporters as well as about the people, and a government is expected to base its policies on the line taken by the ruling party. So what is ruling party? Ruling party means a political party that runs the government is called ruling party. So here ruling parties makes decision, and decision of ruling parties, that means decisions of majority, right? Because that party is in rule, that means people sanction it to rule. That's all. Majority of people, I mean. So here second, different policies and program, implementation of different policies and programs. Third one, making laws. Parties play decisive role in making laws for a country. Who make a law for us, for a country? If you remember, in the ninth standard, you had learned about it in the institution, parliament, and system of making law. Let me recall what you had learned before. Formally, laws are debated and passed in legislature. In legislature, we know that there are cabinet ministers and head of them is prime minister. So basically, laws are formed by those cabinet ministers of different departments, right? And those people put that law in legislation. That means in Lok Sabha first, afterward for sanction of Rajya Sabha. Alright? Do you remember it? So those people who are those cabinet ministers, those cabinet ministers, they belong to particular political party, that means ruling party. Right? So most of members belong to a ruling party. They go by direction of a political party and leadership. That is why we refer that particular law made by or implemented by Mr. Modi. Means generally we refer that either we call that this law brought up by Prime Minister Mr. Modi or BJP. Why it's so? Actually, that law implemented by particular respective department, but as head of department, particular minister belong to ruling party. So that is why we call that head of political party, that means prime minister, or we name to particular political party. Let me give you an example regarding this about the making law. One of the most controversial law nowadays, GST. There are many controversial laws. One of the most controversial laws, that is regarding GST. GST is tax system, as we know, right? And generally, people blame Narendra Modi, Mr. Modi, or BJP for the GST law. Actually, that law brought up by contemporary finance minister, late Arun Jaitley. But still, we call that law brought by Modi, Mr. Modi, or BJP. Right? Because that person didn't take decision by his own. He of course influenced by ruling party, that means BJP, as well as leadership, that means prime minister. Right? So here those people, different ministers, they make decision, they bring up different laws, irrespective of their personal opinion, but with the influence of leadership and their political party. So here political parties play decisive role in making laws. That's all. This is the third function. Next one, fourth one, parties forms and run government. In the beginning, yesterday we have seen in the meaning, political parties contest election and they form government, right? They come together to contest election and hold power in the government. Holding power, that means they form the government. So here the fourth function. Parties form and run government. As we noted last year, the big policy decisions are taken by political executives that comes from the political parties. Parties recruit leaders, train them, and then make them ministers to run the government and the way they want. Like I said just in the previous example about GST. Minister got that position by the political party. So political parties, they contest election, they gain popular support, they come to power, means they form the government. And how do they run government? Once they come into the power, they distribute. Political party distributes different positions among their people, right? Finance minister, home minister, prime minister, different ministers, railway ministers at the central level, similar at the state level as well, home minister at state level, right? as well as there are different departments at central level, at state level, which we had learned before in the union list, concurrent list, state list and concurrent list. So those union leaders as well as for state government, state leaders. I insist you to watch on that this Bihar election, which conducted this month, result declared, and soon they will take oath. They will take oath means that political parties, and here parties are there due to coalition government. And coalition government together they distribute different positions to different people. I insist you that to find out about this election and or taking ceremony. So you will know about the different positions. So here, once they gain different position in the government, then after they make decisions. Those who are most eligible, those who are suitable, they take position. So those ministers run the government the way they want. So here, this is the fourth one, the fourth function of a political party. Here, the next one, those parties that lose election, what about them? In election, we know that certain parties they win the election. One party or few parties they win election and they form the government. Here we have seen they form and run the government. What about those losers? What about those parties that lose in election? They have important role in democracy. They play role as opposition party. Role of opposition. So next function of a political party is role of opposition. So political party or political parties play the role of opposition to the parties in power. Opposition means not to oppose the political party, no, but they have different view. Political party has different view, and ruling party has different view, as well as opposition has a different view. So when opposition party feels that the certain decisions are not in favor of people, there are disadvantages of it. In that case, they oppose the law. They debate and discuss about the different decisions. So, by voicing different views and criticizing government for its failures or wrong policies, and they also play important role in decision making process. At least they oppose it. If they find inappropriate, harmful, in that case they oppose different decisions and policies of the government or ruling party. Opposition parties also mobilize opposition to the government. So here limits of government's power, safeguard. Government cannot make arbitrary decision in most of the cases. As long as opposition powerful, government cannot make, ruling party cannot make arbitrary decisions. They prevent them, opposition prevent them to do so. So here we have seen 5 functions of political parties. First, they contest election. Second one, they make policies and programs. Third one, making laws. Fourth one, forms and run the government. And fifth one, the role of opposition. There are 2 more we will discuss in the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching video. If you have any doubt, any query, kindly contact me. Thank you so much.